Hello guys and welcome back. So in this section we'll actually get down to coding and implement routing in our Angular application. Okay, so let me first just open up a new terminal here and I'll create say about three components using Angular CLI. So let me start by doing that. So I'll generate component inside the components folder and I'll name them say home as my first component. Okay, and this might take some time. So it got created. Now I'll create the about component here, and I'll also create the mm, say mm, home and about, and say blog as another component. Okay, so now the components are created. Let me just go quickly to the Bootstrap's website so that I can quickly get the navigation bar up and running. Okay, so for that what I'll do is I'll create another component. I'll call this header. Okay, and meanwhile that gets created, I'll just copy the navbar markup that we had here. So right from here till here, so I'll copy this and go back, and now in my header component, let's see, where are the components that got created. I'll refresh this. Okay, I got them now. Okay, so I'll go to the header component, and inside that I'll simply paste the markup that I've copied for the navigation bar. Okay, now let's see what all things do we actually need and what all things we don't really need here. Okay, so I don't really need this. I don't really need a form. So I'll get rid of both of these. Then I have a few anchor tags here, and this looks something like this. Okay, so I got rid of this form and this, and also this drop down hopefully. Okay, and action, another action, and no, these are also a part of this UL, so I'm gonna get rid of this drop down as well right here. All right, so now I'll just have the link here and the link here. Okay, and we'll have the brand here. Okay, so far so good. I'll just save this and I'll go back to my app component, and instead of the app message list that I've already included here, I'll just get rid of this and add app hyphen header like so, and let's save this. Now ngserve is already running in the other terminal, so if I go back to my application here, I should see a navbar like so. Okay, all right, now right now there isn't really anything that's happening here, so let's get going and let's start to build our routing module. So I need to create a new module in that case, and to do that I'll simply clear this up and generate a new module. So I need to generate a module, so I'll type m for that, and I'll name this module app hyphen routing. Okay, and this should create a module for me, this one right here. So I'll go to this module and I'll start with the basics. So I don't really need any component or a pipe or a directive here, so I'll get rid of the declarations array. I'll need the I don't really need things like for each and any other such sort of a directive in here, so I'll get rid of the common module as well. Okay, what I need though is the ng module decorator, because I need to decorate this class with it so that Angular knows that this class is this class is a module. And apart from that, I also need two things. So I don't really remember the names as of now, so I'll just first import and from this, and then I'll go back here and I'll get IntelliSense. So I need router module and I need routes. Okay, and now I'll first need to import the router module like so, and I'll also export the router module from here so that the module that is importing this module knows about it. Okay, now we need to provide some configuration to our Angular application so that it knows which particular component to load in case a particular route is reached. So what I will do is I'll create a const app routes, which is of type routes, which again is an array of routes. Okay, so each object in this array contains a path. Okay, say home. Okay, and the component that would be loaded when that particular path is reached. So I'll specify that like so. uh, when home is reached, I need to load the home component, so that is something that I'll have to import. After that, I have the blog path, and when the blog path is reached, I need to load the blog component. Okay, this should be path and not path, like so. And finally, mm, we have the about route that should load up the about component, like so. Okay, now I have the routes ready with me. The second thing that I'll have to do is I'll have to call the for route method on my router module and pass the app routes to it. Okay, now I can safely use this module and import it in my root module, that is my app module, like so. This is something that I have to import, so I imported it like this. Now what I generally prefer is to keep all the modules and building blocks that I have created at the bottom, like so, and all the modules that have been given to us by Angular at the top, like so. And in that case, I also like to, you know, do some sort of an alphabetical order arrangement in here, like so. So if that is something that we should be following, this should come at the top like so, and then we have B, and then H, and then M, like so. Okay, that way it's easier for us to just get a hold of a particular component or a particular import statement here. Okay, all right, now we have defined the configuration, we have imported the app routing module inside our app module, that is our root module, and now we'll be able to use routing in our Angular application. So let's see if right now. Okay, one more thing that I'll have to specify is the place at which Angular should, Angular should place the component. Okay, so that is something that I'll specify here using the router outlet tag, and that is something that is also provided by Angular router, so that's why we are able to use it. Now Angular app is already running here, so if I go here and in the address bar, if I type, let me just let me just close all the tabs to the right, and let me just um, resize this like so, so that it's readable. Okay, I'll expand this so that it's visible properly. Okay, and if I go to say home, it should load up the home component for me. Okay, if I go to blog, sorry, blot is nothing in here, so it's going to give me an error because we haven't handled the route if it is not defined. So if I go back and go to blog, then it should load the blog component for me. And if I go to about, then it should load the about component for me. Okay, but the links aren't really working right here. So that is something that we should do next. So I'll go back to the header component, and in here, if brand is clicked, then in the href, I should specify /home. If so, if this is the link, I'll just get rid of this right here. Okay, I'll simply use this one. And we have two more routes like about and blog. And if the user taps about, then the user should be navigated to about. If blog is the case, to blog. Let's save this, go back to the application. And now if right now I'm on about, so it will take me to about. If I click on blog, it should take me to blog. And on the brand, let's just rename the brand to say home. If I save this and go back, if I click on home, it should navigate the user to home. Okay, but we aren't really using the concepts of a single page application, right? Whenever we are clicking on a particular link, it's essentially reloading the application like so, right? And that is slowing down the application as well, because it's taking some time for this particular component to load on the view. Okay, and that is something that we don't really want. We want this app to not reload whenever we click on a particular link. Now to do that, Angular gives us an Angular gives us um, a directive that we can use, and the name of the directive is router link. Okay, so I've used router link here, and now if I save this and go back to the application, if I click on about, the about component is loaded, the route is also changed to about, and the application will not reload. Just have a look at this one if I click on blog. Okay, so now the whole application seems to work without any issues in this case. Okay, now Angular also comes with a directive that can be applied on a link tag. Okay, and the name of that directive is router link active, and this specifies this automatically judges which particular route is active right now, and based on that, whatever class we specify over here is applied to that particular list item. Okay, so let's do that as well for this one. If I save this now and let it reload, if I click on about, we'll see that about is getting highlighted, and the about is the actual route that is being active right now. If I click on blog, then blog is going to be active. So router link active is another directive that can be used for such a purpose, in which we specify the name of the directive and the class we need to get that particular list item appended with once this particular route is active. Okay, so I guess this sums up the whole routing process that you can use to implement routing in Angular applications. Now, in the next section, we'll talk about child routes, wherein if say there is a child route like say blog, and this is the title of that of an article in there, and if I select that particular blog, then it should take me to a particular child route or so. Okay, so that is something that we'll see in the next video. We'll also see how we can handle these errors by catching if a particular route does not exist. Okay, so that is all that we'll be having a look at in the next video. So I'll see you guys on the other side. Bye.